Welcome to the 2022 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this weekend edition, Labor Day weekend, September the 4th, 2022. Hope everyone is enjoying themselves, relaxing, and family and friends, and just enjoying themselves this weekend. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. Preach to me for the latest news. Share it with your friends, family, and cohorts and chums. And we'll continue to bring you the latest news as interpreted through uh, the media here. So today we're going to briefly talking about the jobs report, and we're going to talk about briefly the housing market. It is expected to still crash, but it's going to be a slow slide down the mountain, meaning that the home appreciation prices are going to go down slowly. Air is going to go out the bubble little at a time, and then it's going to next year, when we get into next year, everything's going to eventually go down tremendously, and people are going to say, oh man, we really are into a massive recession that's not going to last 1 year, but the next 3 to 4 years, possibly as long as 2025, 2026 is what we're looking at here for the recessionary numbers in terms of hospitality, retail, transportation, utilities, private sector, public sector, etc. So we're going to get into it right now here. Now, this is what the jobs report showed for August here, according to CNBC.com. Here's what the jobs are for August 2022 in one chart. They say that the jobs that we gained were in professional and business services, 68,000. Healthcare, of course, 48,000. And let me just say, healthcare is going to be one that is kind of going to be recession proof. But if because they can hire a lot of contract workers, traveling nurses and stuff like that. Doctors can work on a schedule outside of, can join together in hospitalist groups to survive and make more billing claims that way. And you're always going to have claims with the insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, stuff like that. So they're going to be able to survive this better than some other things here, as you know. Retail trade, 44,000. Leisure and hospitality, 31,000. Manufacturing, 22,000. Notice that's kind of lower here down the scale. Financial activity, 17,000. Construction, 16,000. Social assistance, 13,000. Government, 7,000. Information mining, 7,000. And then transportation, only 4,000. And warehousing. So U.S. economy added 315,000 jobs in August. This is below expectations. And so growth is slowing overall. And this is noted here in the media. So it's even slowing further than what they're telling us here in these reports here. This is courtesy of this map here. This job bar graph is courtesy of the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So we have to go with the official numbers here. And so we see these jobs. We see that we have the jobs, but we have unemployment, according to CNNBusiness.com. Unemployment continues to rise. And they're spinning it as here's why this is good news. But we have unemployment rising now to 3.7%. Unofficial unemployment is already above 10%, as you know, because you have to include those people who are giving up looking for work, or who are living with family members, who are working part-time gig jobs, 2 or 3, try to make up to a full-time salary. So that's not included in these numbers. That increase has surprised economists, quote, who had expected to remain at July's 3.5%. I don't know why. So in a normal labor market, rising unemployment is a red flag, quote unquote. But even though today's labor market is far from normal, last month's rise in unemployment is actually an indication that the job market is normalizing. So this is what they claim it is. But see, the thing is that what's making this job rise thing so dangerous is that we don't have jobs. We're not creating jobs fast enough for the amount of people who are entering the workforce, either by college graduations or trade schools. We don't have the supply of jobs. And the thing is that people from overseas that are coming over are not taking the jobs. They're either buying up investment properties or starting their own business and stuff like that. So they're not taking this retail, transportation, hospitality jobs that used to be known for. So that's also a big concern. So America's not creating jobs. They're not creating manufacturing. And that means a vulnerable time for the housing market, according to MarketWatch.com. Mortgage rates are now double what they were a year ago. Of course, we know mortgage rates are sitting at 5.9%. That's if you have perfect credit, a 750 or above FICO, a 20% down, all of that stuff, or 3.5% down if you're using FHA. So you may not be getting that 5.9, 5.8%. You may be getting closer to 6.25, 7%. If you're down in the 600s in the credit, or 500, 580 credit score, or whatever the case may be. So the 30-year fixed mortgage averaged 5.6% as of September the 1st, according to Freddie Mac. That's 11 basis points from the previous weeks, and it will continue to rise as the Federal Reserve bank has their meeting later on September 20th to raise by, I believe, 75 basis points, maybe even a full point of this interest rates again, and they're going to continue to rise. So now the housing market, like I said, is going to be able to crash, but it won't be until next summer. But there will be appreciation values will appreciate more slowly. House appreciation values, as well as the the rate of selling. Houses are going to stay on the market longer on the MLS and these retail sites like Redfin and Zillow and all of that. Stay on the market longer. Say it's going to stay on the market 5-6 months compared to when it was selling like hotcakes even before it was even built. Some of these places. So this is what we're looking at. And I predict the mortgage rate before the end of the year is going to be closer to 8 to 9%, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate. I also predict that there's going to be a tightening of the money, tightening of the lending standards by these banks, and they're already starting doing that. Now, one good news is that Bank of America, they're trying to make home ownership more affordable for first-time home buyers in Pacific, Black, African American, and Hispanic neighborhoods by offering a new zero down payment, zero down closing cost mortgages. They're trying to make up for being the Wells Fargo being the bad guys. You know, the Wells Fargo was selling not just minorities, but Wells Fargo was selling everybody, creating fake accounts, and also they got charged with the car loan scandal where they were giving people insurance on their cars that they didn't need just to get extra money on the loan. And so now they're gonna go back in these neighborhoods. Bank of America's come back in these neighborhoods, select cities like Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, and Miami, and they're gonna say, hey, well, we're gonna give you a zero down, zero closing cost mortgages. Problem with that is that the interest rate, yeah, but the interest rate is gonna be double that. Let's say the current interest rate right now on the 30-year fix is that I just told you 5.8, 5.9%. But as you know, most don't say most, but sometimes the credit score system, minorities in the credit score system, specifically African Americans and Latinos, have a lower credit score. Chances are we're not going to get that prime rate. So we may get a rate at 7, 8, 9%, 10% on those deals, and the same for cars and everything else. So that means that this is going to be a really high payment for them on these mortgages when you're not putting anything down, and you don't have zero in the closing costs. So they're wrapping all that into the mortgage. That means that you're going to look at a higher monthly payment and higher PMI, private mortgage insurance, which you must carry if you're not putting anything down. So that's going to be the problem. The banks going to get their money, are going to get their money in the back end or the front end, regardless. And another thing that we have to worry about as the kids go back to school this month, and some have already returned, and we get into all of the high school, college football, sports seasons, and everything that these universities and college towns offer in some of these places. The Americans are going to have less disposable income heading into the fall and winter because of the higher energy bills, higher cost of supplies for teachers. Teachers have to buy some of their own supplies that are not reimbursable by the county, cities, municipalities. So we're going to have less disposable income to work with this school term and this fall and winter term as these inflation continues to be a problem. It's not under control, as Biden has not got the inflation under control. And so this is going to be something that we're going to have to really study going forward. Now, I do predict gas will remain level off here, of course, because you know what's coming up, the midterms in 2 months or 2.5 months. So they're going to make it look good in that. The Democrats want to make it look good. We lower gas 5 cents. But what's going to give you the kicker is, like I said, the inflation was not going to come down by then. It's not going to come down by the end of this year, or maybe not even the end of next year. So we're still going to be at 8.8% inflation, and that's just going to be a killer on a lot of people's discretionary income outside of the bills that they're paying and everything else that's going on in this world. So continue to continue to prepare. This week would be a good week if we continue to work inch by inch and don't get discouraged by what we see on TV or whatever we see in the media. Remember, there's a lot of things. There's a big world, and God is going to take care of us. He is control. He's in control, and it will go down when He says it goes down, not when the TV or anybody else says. So be blessed, guys. I will talk to you very soon. Have a great week and enjoy the Labor Day weekend that we have coming up here today and tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.